Blessing. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Every day above ground is a great day. You guys know that I say that. Today is going to be one amazing day. And the reason why is because I'm going to introduce you to Blessing Okere, who I like to refer as the pink Ferrari. Okay. Does everybody like Ferraris? And who likes hot pink Ferraris? Right? This is a woman that I have been very blessed to coach and teach, and more importantly, learn from, right? Like she's teaching me to be better. And so, Blessing is going to lead us through mindset, right? How to unlock your potential. Okay. Blessing has been in the business since 2020. She, as an agent, she's been in transaction coordination. She's been an agent. She's in Brentwood, California, up in the Bay Area. She is a single mom of a teenager. She is a firecracker, and she is someone who has a passion for mindset. And she's very vulnerable. And today was born out of, you guys, how do we get to the next level? We get to the next level by stepping out of our comfort zone. And Blessing and I came up with this. I don't even know if it was 2 weeks ago. I'm like, girl, you love mindset. Guess who's going to put on a mindset class? And guess what? This is what I love about her. She's a doer, not a doubter. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the amazing pink Ferrari, Blessing Okere.
Oh my goodness, Tanya, thank you so much for that. I'm blushing. I'm thinking that, yes, I think it was literally 2.5 weeks ago that on a random check-in call with Tanya, it'd been too long and we needed to talk. And I stepped way outside of my comfort zone. And for those of you that have worked with Tanya know that if you tell her you need to work on something, it's as good as done, whether you want to or not. If you said that you want a little bit of time, she doesn't take it. So I said that I've been in this space of consuming personal development and just mindset information. I've got all of this in my head. Don't ask me trivia questions. I can't recall things right away, but mindset, it's stored in there like a filing cabinet. So I am super honored to be able to lead the group in this mindset movement, is what I've dubbed it. And yes, I am a pink aficionado. Hot pink is my favorite. If you don't like pink, let's have a conversation. I can help you find your shade, because I think that's really what it comes down to, is you've got to find the version that works for you. So throughout my presentation, you'll see pink in different places. This is just me, again, stepping outside of my comfort zone and not overthinking it, which that's what unlocking potential is really about. Not about overthinking, but definitely jumping right in and getting started. So let's jump in. What does potential mean? And I am going to share my screen. Let me know. Let me know when you can see it. Give me a thumbs up. Can you see my screen already?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. So, full disclosure, I 1000% have the capability to talk this entire time. So I'm going to take some breaks and just ask for, yes, this is making sense. No, give me a thumbs up. So just so that I can keep everyone engaged, because I really don't want to bore anyone and I don't want to, beat you guys over the head with this information. I really want to make sure that, it sinks in and you get something from it. So today's talk, unlocking your potential, igniting change through vulnerability, self-reflection, and accountability. So I asked the question already, but what is potential? What does that mean? It's defined as having the necessary abilities and qualities to become something successful or useful in the future. So it's a thing that we have right now that's going to help us get to this future self that we haven't seen. Does the gentleman jumping across the crag, does that kind of help you see that there's a little bit of room? There's that room for growth, that potential to get to the other side. I have an inordinate fear of heights. Even clipping this picture made me really uncomfortable because I don't know how high it is. I don't know how far that is. And sometimes we don't always know how wide that gap is, but we know that it's there. And it's something that we have to cross or navigate or jump across to get to that future self. The word potential has actually been something that's plagued me my entire life. I once had an older relative, and I definitely want to throw in there that she was a little older because we let our elderly get away with some things that we can't always say. But at a funeral, she looked at me and shook her head and was like, "Why are you hiding all that potential?" It was such a gut punch because we're at a funeral. Why would you say something like that? But also, because I had heard it, not only from her, but from so many other people, it was like, what is this thing that everyone is seeing in me? What is this gap? I couldn't see it. I couldn't understand it. I literally, if you said potential to me, I would cringe. So what did I do to try to figure out how to get through that potential? Has anyone, raise your hand, has anyone heard the mantra, fake it till you make it? Yeah. Almost every single one of us, right? So if you haven't, fake it till you make it is taking on the qualities of a confident or successful person. It's literally like wearing someone else's jacket that doesn't fit you, but you know you'll get into it because that's what you want to be, right? You want to be successful. You want to be a leader. You want to be confident. So we're just going to act. We're just going to fake it till we make it, right? The only thing about that mantra, well, yes, I was able to do it for a very long time, and most of us do, especially if we're new in the business. We don't have the transactions, we don't have the experience to go through a contract, we haven't done lead generation. We've got to jump all in. Again, there's a flaw in the fake it till you make it mantra. It's the word fake it. It immediately is a reminder that we're fake. And something I love about our brains is that it doesn't pick up on nuance. So if you tell it we're fake, but we're going to do it, it hears fake and it's now, in our subconscious. So what we have to do is make sure that we're paying attention to that faking it because sometimes it does show up. It likes to rear its head and kind of keep us safe because that's another thing that's the point of our brain is to keep us safe. So, what I hope to accomplish today is not to get you to fake your way to your dream life or to that potential, but to truly believe that the 2.0 version of yourself, in my case, I'm living out Blessing 4.0. I turned 40 in February and it's been a great 6 months. Actually, my half birthday was yesterday. So, but that
Amen to
2.0
that.
version, that 2.0 level up version of you, they're just inside. They're waiting for you to get lit up, unleashed, and unlocked. So that's what we're hoping to do today. How do you unlock the potential? Also, I'm going to put a lot of disclaimers out there. I am not saying that this conversation we're going to have today is going to be the full answer to this very big question. Again, I've been consuming information in personal development and mindset for the better part of 4 years. And I've just been able to aggregate all of this together and put it in this concise little bucket of a conversation. So I've broken it down to three steps that we can create positive change and help you get from where you are now to where you want to be. Those 3 steps are going to be vulnerable. Are you willing to look at yourself in the mirror? Really, really get vulnerable with who you are and what you want. Self-reflection. Who's a fan of visualization and affirmation? Yep. We're gonna talk about those as far as creating that self-reflection so that we're aware of where we are. And last but not least, and probably the most important, is be accountable. Control what you can control. We are all in a coaching group because we want that accountability, right? None of us are doing this business and none of us are doing life by ourselves. So We want to make sure that we've got people around us that can help keep us on track, or at least we're aware of these 3 steps. And again, 3 quick steps that we can kind of hold on to as a guidance for us. We're going to go right in. So being vulnerable. The reason why I believe that being vulnerable is the best place to start, it's because you get to be really, really real with yourself. Full transparency again. This is an incredibly personal and uncomfortable at times process, because I'm not asking you, what do you want to change? It's why. Why do you want to change? Here's an example of why it's important to figure out why versus what. Has anyone ever made a New Year's resolution to lose weight just because? Yep. No, Martin, that was a heavy shake. Nope, always with a purpose. So I did that. It lasted maybe 2 months because I was just going to try it, because let's try on a New Year's resolution. If you don't have a strong enough why behind it and a routine and a commitment or a reason, it really doesn't last very long. But what about, and again, no one has to raise their hand for this, but what about if you're told you have to lose weight or else? It's different, right? That's no longer it would be nice to lose weight. There's something that I don't even want to deal with on the other side of that. So let me get myself in gear right now. It creates urgency and sparks action. So now you're wanting to be successful in your career. It may not be a matter of life and death, but I'm sure that there's a personal urgency and it lies with your why. So how do we figure out your individual why? So I've got this great little exercise. Is anyone familiar with the 7 levels deep? No? Ooh. Do we have any parents that are on the call? When you tell your kids no, what do they do? Why? Why? Why can't I? And they keep asking why until you either lose it or you give it to them, because they've figured out why they can't and presented you with, with a really strong case, or they just got you at the right time. But this exercise of 7 levels deep comes from Dean Graziosi's Millionaire Success Habits. Now, I don't know if anyone really wants to be a millionaire, but they kind of have a work ethic that got them there that we can take from, right? Asking why, and again, not what do you want to change, but why do you want to change? And then from there, literally going 7 levels deep into your reason why. An interesting thing, I told you there's always going to be pink on every slide. If you notice, the 5th question is highlighted in pink. And that's because we can kind of keep things superficial. We can kind of keep, our reasons, in our head as far as why do you want to grow your business? Well, I want to make more money. I want a bigger house. I want to drive the car. We can kind of keep that there. But around that 4th or 5th question, it goes from a head knowledge or head reason to a heart reason. And that's where most people stop, because it gets uncomfortable. Like I said, figuring out your why is incredibly personal. It is something that you don't have to do with someone else. It is truly your own process. If you are in a relationship and you want to do it with your partner, great. But truly checking in and tapping into, why are you in this business? Why are you striving for that goal? That's between you and your God, you and the universe, whoever your spiritual or higher power is, or who your North Star is. That's where you have to reconcile that. And when we get uncomfortable, guess what happens? Grow. We grow, because that ground that we're now digging through, we're going deep. Has anyone tried to dig a hole with their hands and just keep digging for no reason? That's not me. I'm not an outdoor person. I'm truly asking for anyone that is outside. I just got my nails done. Hard pass. Yeah. So when you start digging deep, you get to a point where your arms into it. You are just pulling up dirt. You're just in it, right? Think of your reason for being in this business. Is it not worth getting your hands dirty? I would do it for that, right? So, 7 levels deep. That seventh question, and yes, you can keep going. If you want to keep digging and, really pull up some weeds and some roots, by all means, keep going. He's only suggesting 9. 7, excuse me. I would stay with 7, but it's your process to keep digging, because maybe you get to 7 and the whole goal changes. But sticking with the seventh answer to the seventh question, that's going to be your real why and the reason why you're pushing forward and trying to work on your business or achieve that goal. That's going to be the reason that when you don't feel like getting out of bed, that's your reason for getting out of bed. That's your reason for door knocking that day. That's your reason when it is 116 degrees and the sun is beating down and you know that you need to get out of your house and get some things done. That's going to be your North Star. Now, the seventh one, that's your North Star, right? But you just provided 6 other reasons why that's important. Don't disregard your 1 through 6 answers. They're just more reasons why that number 7 is going to be your North Star. So, got some action steps for you. Go 7 levels deep. Think about whatever goal you're trying to achieve, whether it's in your business, in your relationship, with your family, or personal, whatever that is. Do this 7 levels deep series. And a way to stay present, if you don't want to keep writing it down, we all have our phones, right? There's a wonderful memo recorder. Just talk. It also is good if you have your phone and you're recording it so it doesn't just look like you're talking to yourself if you decide to do this on a walk. I did that. They couldn't see the phone and they thought I was insane. But do that so that you can stay present in the process. And remember what I said about our brains? They pick up on whatever we say, whatever we're telling it. Say it out loud. We can think a lot of thoughts, but the ones that we say out loud, wouldn't you agree they get a little bit more momentum? Because you're hearing it. You're also recording it, which means you get to play back that conversation over and over in case you miss something. But you get to just go with the flow of it. Now on here, I do have Post-it. Now, some of us live in social media and we're okay sharing. I did say that this is an incredibly personal process. So you can just say, I'm going 7 levels deep. Wouldn't that be a nice little teaser for anyone that follows you to kind of check in and be like, hey, what's that about? Conversation starter, right? But I used to work in corporate America as an executive admin. I have a ton of these lovely little Post-its. And there were always reminders all the way around my computer screen of everything I needed. Post your reasons why. Post your 7. That Post-it, it's whatever you make. Yep, she already pulled up hers. Thank you, Tanya. Whatever you need to do, make sure that that 7th reason, your North Star, is in front of you. Take a screenshot of it, make it your wallpaper. Put it everywhere that you need a reminder of, why am I getting out of bed right now? Why am I doing all of this? Because if you keep that in front of you, you're golden. That's going to be the first reason why you now have direction. That's going to be your first reason of why you do anything. And now you know that you're on course, because sometimes it's easy to drift. So making sure you have that North Star right in front of you, that's finding out your why. Everything good? Everyone good with that? Feel comfortable with 7 levels deep? Fabulous. Next point, self-reflect, visualizations and affirmations. This is where we truly, truly get to tap into the power of our minds and create the visuals to go with that 7th level purpose that we've just identified. Now, I'm giving this typically when I do a bullet pointed 1, 2, 3, I cover the points in any particular order. If anyone's been in my Mindset Monday, you know, we just go with it. Here, you want to figure out your why first, and then we're going to add the visuals to it. So once you do your go 7 levels deep, come back to it and fill in everything else that we're going to talk about. Make sense? Perfect. So there is a wonderful gentleman. His name is Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins. I think of him a personal friend of mine. He's got this wonderful quote that whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis, notice the pink, is exactly what you will experience in your life. Wherever you focus, that's what you will experience. And that's where your attention goes. Has anyone ever shopped for a brand new car? You've done the research, finally figured out which one is the one, you know exactly which color it's going to be, down to the grain on the inside. What happens when you make that decision? Start to see that car everywhere. You went from never seeing a hot pink Range Rover or white Range Rover with the gold handles, in my case, to I saw 3 of them. Where did they come from? I feel like I manifested and they were just a reminder of what I really wanted. Now, I'm not saying that it'll show up right away, but you'll start to notice it, right? And it's not because they magically appeared. It's simply because now your brain knows that that's what you're looking for. That's what you want. You've created a pathway to allow it in. And again, I know that we haven't identified the 7th level purpose. So right now, for the rest of this, just think of a general goal that you're working on. Got a goal? Okay. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine that goal in front of you. And it is completely, you met it. You have crushed that goal with ease. You've got the numbers on the board. The money's on its way to the account. Everything is as you want it. You even did it in half the time you thought it was going to take. Sit with that for a moment. How does it feel to have accomplished your goal? Where are you right now? Celebrating, living it up, feeling it. Where are you sitting? Is it a chair? Are you on a comfy couch? Are you at the Giants game? What are you eating? What does the air smell like? Where do you feel this joy? Do you feel absolutely amazing? Do you feel like a hot pink Ferrari that just pulled up in front of everyone? Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and open up your eyes. That moment that you just took to take in the accomplishment feels real, right? You felt the joy. I saw so many smiles. Dee Dee, I'm going to put you on the spot for a moment. You started to radiate. I don't know what you were thinking about, but it's happening. It was there. That's again using the power of our mind. Gotcha, girl. Our brains don't know the difference of if it happened or if it didn't, if we can create those images and attach it to it. If you get specific in the accomplishment, and exactly when I said, where do you feel the joy? Michaela, I think it was you, and you put your hand on your heart. Wherever you feel it, sit with it. There's a Netflix documentary called Stutz. Has anyone seen it? With Jonah Hill and his psychiatrist. Highly, highly recommend, because Stutz is the psychiatrist, and I'm going off script a little bit, but in it, he talks about how do you feel joy? How do you really put yourself in a moment of joy? Whether it's, and it'll feel as real as that you truly experienced it. It is what we just did. It is imagining it, thinking through the details, and staying present. That's where the smile came from. That's where you started to feel it. So here's how you're going to build your affirmations. All of those feelings that you felt. Oop, sorry. Oh, too far. Sorry, gave away something. You're going to go, I am. And how did future you feel about crushing that goal? I am amazing. I am feeling joy in my heart. I am sitting at the Giants game, eating hot dog, feeling proud, feeling on top of the world. Project. And the reason why we're going to use I am, those are the two most powerful words you can utter, because whatever falls after I am, your brain runs with it. Monday morning, our Monday morning motivation. Reason why we do it on Monday. Again, I used to work in corporate. I cannot tell you, the case of the Mondays is an epidemic. It's because you just spent 2 days living your best life, Saturday, Sunday, not a care in the world, and gotta be back at this job. Now, because I can see the client list, I can say it, or the participant list. I, in my last 8 months, hated every single day that I showed up to work. And what did I tell myself? I am so tired of this job. I am so sick of it. I can't wait to quit. I can't wait to be in full-time real estate. I just want to leave. I'm so tired. I ammed myself into a frenzy. Nope, my internet connection's still unstable, getting crazy. But I ammed myself into a frenzy to a point where the anxiety and everything was so overwhelming. So truly be careful of what you utter after I am, because we've already looked at it. We've already experienced it. You can help your brain. You tell your brain what's happening. And guess what? It's going to do it. So think about future you. Remember, we're here. We've got all that potential to get us through, and we can see the other side. It might be 15 minutes from now. It might be 8 months from now, but we can see it. How does future Michaela feel? How does future Martin feel? How are we feeling about all of these accomplishments that we've got, that we just did? Because we're going to do it. Tanya's going to make sure of it, right? She's going to be on us if we don't, right? We're all holding each other accountable, because we know that the goal and the potential that we are trying to unlock, and that change, and that really, really amazing life that we want to live, it's worth it. We just came up with 7 reasons why it's worth it, right? So your action step here is to take all of those I am statements from the perspective of future you, get really big. Take a piece of paper. Obviously, if you have a piece of paper, great. If not, but take a piece of paper and a quarter of the way, draw a line. This, I don't know if my math is right, but a quarter of the way, draw a line, and you're going to write I am really big on the upper left-hand side. And then you're going to start to fill in this whole section with your I am statements. You might want to write really big, but I challenge you to just write in quantity. You want to pour out as many positive, affirmed statements that you can come up with, because future you is kind of a badass. Done a lot of things, right? We've got a lot to be grateful for. So fill up that section with all of your I am statements. And if you are not quite feeling powerful, put it on there anyway. Our brain might make us feel that way, right? And
Blessing, can we go back to that I am slide so we can take a picture of it? Right? Didn't you have a slide?
I do. Is my screen still not sharing?
It says I am, but it says one thing, but I thought you showed the different areas.
Oh, it's the piece of paper I'm holding up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, I scrolled ahead by accident. We're getting there.
Okay.
So on your piece of paper, you've got your I am statement, and your question is, how does future you feel about crushing your goals? I was thinking singularly. And that's your action step. So after you've gone deep, I want you to complete your affirmations and then identify your buts. We didn't talk about buts. I have Tanya did say I have a teenager, so the middle school humor, pardon me, I'm a child at times. Sometimes we got to talk about the butt. On your piece of paper, in that little section that we're not really going to pay a lot of attention to, I want you to write super small. My handwriting is not attractive. However, write but, and it should be a small but. No badonks in this situation. I want a tiny concave, write it on flat paper, small. And if you could write it in pencil, do that, because where the buts come from. During the visualization, when you were thinking about crushing a goal, was there any moment where it was like, ooh, that would be great, but write that down in that section. You're limited to a quarter of the page, no more. And here's where I prefer if you write really big so that you don't have as much room to put as many buts. Again, no badonks. A lot of times we come up with a goal and we say, I want to go door knocking, but I don't have a list. I don't know what to say, but I don't know what to hand out. I think I can make some calls, but again, I don't know what to say. I don't know the industry. I don't have any. We start to talk ourselves out of it, right? When you are doing this stuff, again, here's your section to write any but. And the reason why I want you to limit it here, which is going to take us right into our next section and the next step of being accountable. We have this list of buts. I'm going to keep saying it. These self-held limiting beliefs or fears. These are our doubts. And what they'll try to do is creep up, get in our way, and derail us. Not because our brain doesn't want us to be successful, but our brain is trying to keep us safe, remember? Wants us to stay in our comfort zone because we know what to do in our comfort zone. None of what we're trying to accomplish when we say that we want to change our life belongs in the comfort zone. It is becoming a completely different person. I pause and I'm like, me talking today and sharing this with you, I was going to save it till the end, but the moment is here, that last year, my anxiety was so high, I couldn't form sentences. I couldn't talk. So actually right now, as we're talking about the fact of becoming a completely different person, sorry, this was not planned. This is not what was supposed to happen. 2020 Blessing can't imagine who's standing in front of you right now. You literally can change everything you are to have a completely different experience by taking leaps of faith. And, oh, Tanya, all you need is someone in your corner. All you need is to believe that you can. Our brains really aren't trying to fight us, just really wants us to stay safe. But when you've lived a very small life, you've never taken any type of, you've never tried to change anything, you've never seen anyone live differently. Every time you try, my goodness, watching my dad try to do real estate twice, and it absolutely failed to the point where we lost our house. How dare I go into real estate, right? When you've got all of that, and all you want to do is feel a little bit better, and your brain is keeping you stuck, what do? So that's where this insatiable consumption of uh, all things mindset comes from for me, because I truly believe, and I know that it's so easy to say it, You literally can change your mind, change your entire life in a moment. The conversation I was saying that I had with Tanya about making this happen was a 5-second rule decision after I heard. Remember when I said when you talk about things, it's interesting how the universe kind of shows up for you, how God presents things. Good old YouTube, my algorithm is out there. The video that I saw that morning said just that. Sometimes people think that you need 3 months, you need 3 degrees, you need $100,000 to make things happen. But in an instant, you have faith in God, He can make it happen. And I heard that probably not even 15 minutes before I met with Tanya. And there was this moment where she always asked, "What can I do for you?" And I almost hesitated and I blurted it out before I could say anything. I am super passionate about mindset and I don't know how to work it into my business. She was like, "Oh, perfect." It was as if she had this plan from the moment she started typing. There was a lot of clicking. I was like, "Oh, okay." Today's talk, as much as I know this information, as much as I'm like, "Oh, I can talk about this for hours," imposter syndrome had me gripped up. I had 2 hours of sleep, ladies and gentlemen. I was not sure. I've changed this 6 or 7 times. There's 4 different versions in my phone. But when you know that you want to change and you want to create something dynamic, all you need to do is focus on what you can control. I'm going to go to our next slide. Thank you for being there with that. Fear feels real. It's false evidence appearing real. It's all those buts that we've got in the corner. And it's something that when you are in the midst of a panic or a doubting fest or imposter syndrome has stepped completely in, the best thing you can ask yourself, is this real? Like, is it really real? Is my whole life really falling apart? Am I really the worst agent there is? Do I really not have the information? Is there really no time? Are there really no people buying homes? Am I a terrible speaker, really? Whatever it is, I invite you to deal with it head on. Because going back to my realization, I had a very traumatic experience happen that you would think once this happens, oh, my life should be completely different. I survived this. But I didn't change. I didn't deal with it. And that's where the anxiety and the overwhelm like grips me. And what happened is that my grandmother passed last May. And that was my person. That was a person that, even though she didn't speak any English, I learned Igbo, which is a Nigerian language, to speak to her. She accepted everything. Losing my person is what pushed me, and I can say nothing else than I was pushed to deal with the anxiety and to deal with that fear that I was just running from. And the reason it fits in right now is that I'm saying deal with it, but if you notice on my paper, I folded mine away because you can only look at the positives, and that's fine too. If what you need is a whole boatload of positivity, you're going to have it right here. But sometimes we can't compartmentalize. We can't hide the fears. We can't hide what's here. And sometimes we need to take those fears and treat them like, I usually have a little stuffed animal, but I don't. But we need to take it like it's a little doll, like it's our little selves, our younger selves, and say, Blessing, tiny Blessing, I understand you're scared. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to go and we're going to have the talk anyway. We're going to get on a little bit earlier, and Tanya's going to help some of this anxiety, calm down. We're going to put on extra deodorant so we don't embarrass ourselves. We're going to do the things that we need to, despite being afraid. Because the one thing that I want to remind you of when you're dealing with fear You can't always control what happens, but you do get to control how you respond to it. That's the only thing that you need to remember. How you respond to a circumstance, taking responsibility for the actions, and continuing to move forward. That's the other part. Be accountable for where you are, accept the responsibility, and continue. Do it anyway. Door knock anyway. Make the calls anyway. Stand up and talk about the market. Make the calls anyway. Because when you do that, little Blessing here gets a little bit more comfortable being on her own. The fear doesn't feel as big. It really does start to dissipate. I can tell you, I am 1,000% more calm than when I was at 9 o'clock when we started, and 7 o'clock when I started thinking about this. You just have to do it, because now we're signaling to the universe that we're ready. We've got this, that we can do that. It's how we're going to keep, again, that 7th level of why right in front of us. Do it anyway. When you feel the fear, the hesitation, or doubt, we're going to ask ourselves, is the fear real? And is it within my control? Yes, it's raining, the sky is blue. I can't do anything about either one of those. Just get an umbrella, right? We have to take accountability of ourselves and control what we can control. Like I said, there is a little bit of a bonus with this. Take action immediately. That's how you're going to make that fear feel a little bit smaller. And then you're going to take that but and make it an I am. But I'm not a great speaker. Turns out I actually am. So you're going to take each and every one of those and you're going to move it here to a point. This was not practice, so hopefully it tears along the line, where you're going to be able to get rid of all of them, right? Facing that makes it a strength. Layla Hermosi, amazing businesswoman. Her and her husband Alex run acquisition.com, venture capitalist capital company. And one thing that she said is that she didn't know how to be a CEO. She just did it anyway. And when you listen to her talk, the girl will light you on fire herself. She's someone, if you want to look at someone's story about changing and making a decision to change your life, Layla Hermosi. Again, going off script, but appropriate. So you want to create some change. Be vulnerable. Figure out that why. Go deep. Go deeper than the 7 if you can, but get to 7. And then when you get to that why, create those images so that your brain feels like you're watching your own life, right? And then be accountable. Control what you can control and accept the responsibility of your actions. And then repeat. Do this with other parts of your life, but also come back and do an audit on your why. Have you ever watched a really good movie one time and you knew everything about it? Not really. Kind of lose some things, right? It's just like your favorite book or your favorite movie. The more you watch it, the more you pick up things that you can change or improve, or that gives you more joy. So, as I said, I have been consuming this personal development content for a really long time. And I've got a list of resources. Feel free to take not my main screen, but different YouTube channels. YouTube is the best. There's different books as well that I've got on here. Audible, if you don't have a subscription to Audible, I think it's $14.95 right now for 3 credits. Consider it. The interesting thing is a lot of these books you can find on YouTube. They may not be the best like video quality, but if you can just put it on while you're driving to your appointments, you've got that nourishment, you've got that encouragement there. I've highlighted David Goggins. I couldn't actually find his channel, which was interesting. Anything David Goggins. Do we know who he is? If you're feeling bad about yourself, listen to David Goggins. Give yourself 15 minutes and you'll have a whole different perspective. You'll probably want to go running. And I'm not a runner. I used to be, but he makes me want to go back and run. I do include on here, because it's not often talked about. Mental health is incredibly important. Your mental health will be the driver of your mindset. So if you need to talk to anyone, please reach out. I wish I had known about that. And sometimes your strong friends, or because we've got a lot on our plate, we don't ask for help. Check in on your people. Send a quick text, because you never know who needs to hear something. Thank you all. I hope that you were able to get something from this. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're incredible. You are one incredible human being. You guys just got a taste of Blessing 4.0, which means girl's just getting started. Okay.
That's true.
She has jet fuel in her system right now. And so you guys have to be on Mindset Mondays with her. She literally starts with like music, gets us going. It's 30 minutes. And you guys don't have an excuse if you don't have a full-time job, because she's literally doing it at 9 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Mountain, 12 o'clock Eastern. Like, it's 30 minutes of your life. Okay. When you get on Mindset Mondays, make sure that you guys are on video, because this is how we connect, right? Like, having a speaker like this, we owe her the respect of being fully engaged. Would you guys agree? Right? Like, sharing your soul like this is just crazy. And Blessing, man, you are a natural born leader. This was so flawless. Vulnerability, Brene Brown says vulnerability is the new sexy. And like, your vulnerability, just, I don't know, anybody here, raise your hand if she just hit your heartstrings. Anybody here?
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, you did. You know what I love is, I'd love to go around and hear what your ahas are. Okay. What here hit you? Okay. And real quickly, so we have time, and why. What did Blessing say, or what did you feel that's really an aha for you? So I'm going to start with Dee Dee.
But Blessing, thank you so much. Really quickly, that visualization was amazing to me. You're right. I did feel every detail, every single detail. It was amazing to take that moment to actually do that. I never take the moment to do that. I think about it, I throw it up in the air, whatever. But that was so key, on top of everything else you shared. And it's not hot pink, Blessing, but this flower is for you. It's a pen. But I'm like, I have a pink flower.
And
Thank you
it's
so
joyful. You're
much.
so welcome. You're
Thank
so
you
welcome.
so much for everything. And I'll let somebody.
Everybody go out and buy something hot pink and put it on your desk to remind you of the pink Ferrari. Michaela, I see Michaela getting a little uncomfortable over there.
I liked the part where we did the I ams and everything, and then the part where you talked about kind of going over and confronting all of the buts. I like that a lot.
I love it. Matt Fowler.
Yeah, Blessing, real big thanks to the time you put into this and sharing that with all of us there. I've been in this field for a little over a year or so, and the confidence factor has been waning. In fact, I was just talking to my team coach about that right now, and all kinds of doubts sitting in at the moment. So this could not have been a better timing. And let me just reiterate how great of a speaker you really are here. So big thanks for your time and efforts here. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Matt.
I love it. Martin.
I actually had the same thing as Matt. Perfect time, perfect place, perfect person. Thank you, Blessing. I have one little thing that I got away from it. That's not the Blessing 2.0, but the 4.0. I think it's almost going to be 2.5 weeks from now. It's going to be Martin 5.0. So good stuff. Can't wait. So I'm going to use that for my marketing purposes. I thought it was like a really cool little thing. I'm like, you know what? I am going to use that for marketing. But no, that was beautiful. Thanks for sharing all that information.
You're so welcome, Martin. And the thing is that Blessing 4.0 happens to coincide with my age. There's so
That's
many
why.
iterations of ourselves.
Yep.
And you just never, it's okay to start where you're starting. If you've revamped a couple different times, it's okay. Start where you are.
Yep.
So it's awesome.
We
Looking
are
forward to
so
Martin
many
5.0.
We are so many versions of ourselves. Like when I'm like 2.0, they're like, girl, I'm on my 9.0. I'm on whatever 0.0 you're on. Own it. All right, Jessica. And by the way, you guys are just making me cry, making Blessing. Like, this is crazy. Jessica, how about you?
Yeah, for me, it's the quote you said that whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis, it is exactly what you experience in your life. And that just is such a reflection of even the imposter syndrome, you know, the fact that you tell yourself, you know, you're not able to do these things or you're not able to be good enough. And you said a lot of things today that really affected me. I actually cried a little when you were talking about just the anxiety that you had been feeling and how you got over it. Because that's something I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm like, why am I panicking all of a sudden? Or just, you know, I'm a little stressed because I need to make money and, you know, it's a lot of pressure. So everything you said today was really, really helpful. I really loved it.
My pleasure, Jessica.
Love that. Maria.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, so I mean, what I got is definitely self-doubt is a huge factor in everyone's mental psyche, right? And kind of sucks because I'm definitely an empath, so I feel, you know, I've been dealing with a couple of clients and I've been dealing with all the stresses that they've been dealing with, and I take that in. So, when you got all emotional, I was like, Maria, don't pay attention because you're going to take it in, and I don't want to take it in because I'm going to be like, ugh.
Bring it back.
But
I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of closings, and you know, I've dealt with a lot of people that I had a hard time with, and it's just like that self-doubt was starting to reel in, and you know, that imposter syndrome is real. It is 100% real, and it's just like one step at a time.
And Maria, being an empath, just being like completely tuned into everyone's emotions, it is draining. So make sure that you're doing something to like exercise and move your body, because you don't always realize how much of their stuff you're still carrying,
Oh, so
even after
much.
the transaction closes. So
100%. So
yeah, but
And
thank you
Maria.
for sharing.
Maria, you've been doing amazing, Maria.
oh, please don't do it. I'm gonna cry. Okay, bye.
Maria, everyone on your team knows that you've been putting yourself out there and you're doing amazing. So you're doing it. Okay. I'm gonna be calling you. Demetrius.
Don't do it.
Demetrius, and then Randy, you're next.
Hi, everybody. Hi,
Hey,
Blessing.
Demetrius.
Hey,
Hello.
that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for so much for sharing. Everything was great. I mean, you're right. You are an amazing speaker. And from where you were a year ago to where you are now, I mean, I think that also is enlightening to, you know, when you're intentional about who you are and who God designed you to be and remembering that. And most importantly, being able to step out in faith. It's amazing to see the changes because we can think about all the different things that we could do, but until we actually put our hands to the work, you're going to be stuck at square one, right? So you can't build anything until you start, even if it's just mud, right? Now you're putting on the bricks, maybe some more mud, but after a while you have some type of a wall or foundation, right? So, and lastly, I would just say I knew where you were going with the little quarter edge of the paper with the butts. And I
Perfect.
would just say take it one step further, because I know we all have a lot of butts that keep us from getting out of bed, making that phone call or making that video, whatever it is, but tear it off, burn it, bury it, or whatever. Just like put it to bed,
Yep,
do
get
that
rid of it.
physically as a representation of what it can be emotionally and spiritually for you. And focus just on the I ams.
Perfect. Thank you,
You know,
Dimitri.
he has a really good point. I just went to an energy retreat and they literally had us burn it because it's energy, right? Like it's literally vibration. So it was great. It was really cool to get rid of all that. Randy, can you hear us? Randy is our appraiser that's doing lots of appraisers. Michelle Rice.
I would say the vulnerability part really hit home for me, and just I think I really struggle with that, and that being number one, the whole thing was amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
I
welcome.
love it. Michelle, you're amazing. And I owe you a call too. And Randy put here in the chat, let me see what he put in the chat. He says I don't have a camera. God has the wheel of my life. I gave it up to him. Yes, I love it. Anybody else want to share? Diana, Alice, what was yours? 2 more minutes. Diana, whoever's Zoom.
Yes, mine was pretty much the mindset. With everything that's going on, you get distracted and discouraged very easily. So it's just keeping the focus and the affirmation. Thank you very much for your speech. It's enlightening, and I will try my best to do baby steps and approach it 1% better every time. That was
That's all you can do. That's wonderful.
Alice, did you want to share?
Sure. So I really liked the introduction, how she started to talk about her grandmother, and at the funeral, her potentials, has yet to be, I guess, discovered or to be realized. And so that really hits home. I think we all have the potential, lying deep within us, and we just need to wake up every day and do that count to 5 and just take action, one after another until we realize something or we achieve something. So that really hits home for me. Thank you.
You guys, so we have the best thing about mindset is basically showing up. So come on with Blessing every Monday for Mindset Mondays, okay? Show up to all of these classes for the next 2 weeks. Commit to that, okay? Because we have a negotiation expert coming on. We have mindset experts. We have pricing experts. You guys, I know getting on this call, sometimes you're feeling down, but then after the call, you're like, all right, I got some sort of joy or hope or whatever. Blessing, do you want to give us some closing words?
I was going to ask for feedback of like what could be better, but thank you all so much for showing up and truly being part of my my process and stepping outside of my comfort zone towards my why. Life, like I said, is not meant to be lived by yourself. Reach out, stay connected, especially when you're feeling down. Don't hide in your house. It's not a good place. You're alone with your thoughts. So if that just means going for a walk while you talk to someone, do that. But go sit at a coffee shop, get connected. But truly, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of the kind words. I need the camera to go off so I can cry because I'm holding it together. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly appreciate all of the comments and you guys being here.
Thank you, Blessing. And just so you know, this crowd usually will say, when's she going to come on again? So start thinking about your next title.
Yeah, I'll get right on that, Rose.
Okay, Coach. We love you
everyone.
so much. Thank you so much, you guys. Reach out to Blessing or me. Come to Mindset Mondays and see you soon.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.